If you fall toward a black hole, the most surprising thing is not that you disappear, but that you might keep seeing the universe in front of you while, in a certain sense, the universe stops being able to see you. This is where the word hole begins to betray reality, because in our minds a hole is an absence, an opening, a place where something is missing. A black hole, instead, is the opposite of a lack, it is an excess. It is not a dark cavity dug out of space, it is space itself bending until it becomes a trap. And the trap is not made of solid matter or walls, but of geometry, of an invisible rule that redefines what it means to go away. Imagine being very far from that region. You watch a star behaving strangely. An invisible companion makes it wobble. The surrounding gas overheats and shines in X-rays, as if something were whipping it into a frenzy at insane speeds. The temptation is to picture a black, compact object, like a ball of cosmic coal. In reality, what we call a black hole, at least in the simplest description, is less an object than a situation. A portion of spacetime in which gravity, understood as curvature, becomes so extreme that there exists a surface beyond which escape is no longer a meaningful verb. That surface is the event horizon. It is not a material membrane, not a wall. It is a boundary defined by what can or cannot influence the rest of the cosmos. Here comes the first jolt to common intuition. If a black hole were a hole in the everyday sense, you might imagine standing at the edge and looking inside, like into a well. But the horizon is not an edge you can point to with your finger. It is a line drawn by the paths of light. And when we say that not even light can escape, we are not saying that light is too weak or that it gets pulled back, like a stretched elastic. We are saying something far more unsettling. Inside the horizon, all possible roads toward the future point in the same direction, and that direction leads deeper in. It is as if the very concept of outside became a place in the past. The word events in event horizon is not poetic, it is technical. An event is something that happens at a point in spacetime. A horizon is a frontier that separates events that can send signals outward from those that never will. From the outside, a black hole is therefore a kind of cosmic censorship. It does not tell you what lies beyond, it tells you that no news from beyond will ever arrive. And this clears up another misunderstanding. A black hole is not necessarily full of something that devours, nor is it necessarily empty. What we know for certain is that it has mass, and therefore influences everything around it. That mass may come from a collapsed star, from accumulated gas, from mergers with other compact objects. But once the horizon has formed, the question, what's inside, becomes more like a question about the future than a question about a place. There is another, even more counterintuitive detail. If you get close enough to a large black hole, you might cross the horizon without noticing anything special, at least at the moment of passage. There is no sign, no sound. This does not mean it is harmless, it means that the horizon is not a physical structure. It is the definition of a point of no return, but you can cross a point of no return without feeling it, just as you can pass the last highway exit without the road changing its shape. You will discover the difference later, when you realize that every attempt to turn back fails not because energy is lacking, but because there is no path for which back is a future direction. And yet, from far away, someone watching you would see a different scene. Your fall would appear to slow down. The light you emit would become more and more red. This is an effect of time flowing differently in regions of intense gravity. The black hole does not eat, in the sense of a monster opening its mouth. Rather, it distorts the way clocks and light rays can coordinate with one another. The result is an apparent paradox. For you, the crossing can happen in a finite time. For someone far away, it seems never to quite happen at all. This friction between perspectives is not a magician's trick. It is one of the signs that we are talking about the geometry of time as well as of space. So if it is not a hole, what is it? It is an object, but it is also a physical regime. It is a solution of the equations of gravity that nature actually realizes. It is a region where energy and information are put to the test, and where the words we use every day, inside and outside, before and after, near and far, stop being so innocent. And just when you think you have understood that it is all about a surface called the horizon, the next question arrives, the one that burns on the tongue. If there is no wall and no hole in the ordinary sense, why is there an inside that no one can ever describe? To answer that, you have to go even deeper into the idea that gravity is not a pulling force but a way of drawing roads. In the language of relativity, bodies and light follow the most natural paths in curved space-time, like marbles on a track you cannot see. A black hole is a track so deformed that all future trajectories, even those that would be straight for a photon, are funneled toward a central region. Here appears the word that inspires fear: singularity. In the simplest version of the model, at the center there is a point where curvature becomes infinite and the laws we know cease to work. But be careful. This is not a physical object that someone has photographed. It is a signal that our model, pushed to the extreme, breaks down. The singularity says more about the limits of our equations than about a material kernel. This is why calling it a hole is misleading. A hole suggests a passage, perhaps a tunnel, an exit on the other side. Popular stories talk about wormholes, shortcuts through the cosmos, portals. But a black hole, as described by ordinary physics, is not automatically a portal. A wormhole is a mathematical possibility in some solutions, often unstable or requiring exotic conditions. The real black hole, the one that grows by swallowing gas or merging with another, is more sober and more cruel. It offers only one direction. And that direction is toward a future in which your ability to influence the outside tends to zero. There is, however, another linguistic trap. If it is not a hole, someone might think it is a kind of superdense star with a surface. But it is not that either. A star, even the most compact one, has a material boundary: atoms, nuclei, pressure that resists. In a black hole, resistance has lost. There is no surface made of matter where you can land. This is why the horizon is so important. It is the only boundary we can define without seeing inside, and it is a causal boundary, not a tactile one. The matter that falls crosses the horizon and continues on, and from the outside the only certainty is that mass, electric charge, and rotation describe the object in a surprisingly complete way. It is as if all the complexity of what has fallen in were compressed into a few observable parameters. And this is where one of the deepest mysteries is born. If all that complexity seems to vanish, what happens to the information? In physics, information is not gossip, it is the description of the state of a system. Many fundamental laws suggest that information is not destroyed. But if a black hole swallows a library and then one day evaporates, what remains of the books? This problem has tormented physicists for decades and has forced gravity, quantum theory, and thermodynamics into conversation. Because yes, there is another fact that sounds even more paradoxical. Black holes are not completely black. If you treat them with quantum physics on a gravitational background, they emerge as objects with a temperature and an entropy. In other words, they have a kind of heat associated with the horizon, and over very long times they can lose mass by emitting radiation. It is not a jet like that of a star. It is a slow dripping of quanta that makes the object evaporate. This evaporation makes the horizon even stranger, because it is no longer an eternal boundary. It is a frontier that can retreat. And so the idea of the hole as an immutable abyss collapses completely. We are talking about an object that is born, grows, merges, vibrates, and settles down. Black hole mergers, for example, are not just elegant theories. They produce ripples in spacetime, gravitational waves, that we can measure. In those signals there is the signature of mass and rotation, And there is the confirmation that the black hole is a dynamic protagonist of the universe, not a passive absence. It is a cosmic drum that, when struck by a merger, rings and then slowly quiets, like a bell that gradually stops trembling. And if we return to the beginning, to the sentence that sounded almost like a trick, the universe that sees you and then no longer sees you, you understand that the right word is not hole but horizon. A black hole is a machine of separation. It separates what can still communicate with the rest from what cannot. It is a region where causality, the fabric of causes and effects, is stitched together differently. There is nothing to look at. There is a boundary beyond which stories do not come back. And the most vertiginous thing is that this boundary does not need to be made of matter. Geometry is enough. Curvature is enough. It is enough that nature allows space-time to bend until it creates a room without doors, a room not carved out of the cosmos but built by the cosmos itself. So when you say, a black hole is not a hole, you are not playing with words. You are removing a mental crutch. You are admitting that reality, at times, does not resemble any everyday object. It resembles a rule. And among all possible rules, this is one of the most ruthless and fascinating. You can enter without feeling the exact moment you cross the threshold, but from the moment you have crossed it, the concept of exit is no longer a direction in space. It is a word that belongs to another time. If you have made it this far, it means you love curiosity as much as we do. If you enjoyed this journey, leave a like, write a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It is the best way to support what we do. Your presence truly makes a difference. Until the next exploration.